So today we're going to do the first problem in the Robinson problem set called Making Infinities Finite. And the first problem is to evaluate an expression which looks like this. This is what's called a continued fraction. So it's 1 plus, and we're going to need a long bar here. So 1 over 1 plus, and then the same kind of thing, 1 over, then 1 plus 1 over, then 1 plus 1 over 1 plus dot dot dot. And that goes on for infinity. So you might think, well, how do we do this? But this thing has some special properties. So let's look at this thing first. We have 1, and then we're adding something to it, which everything here is positive. So we can say for sure that whatever this thing is, it's bigger than 1. It might be infinity, but it's still bigger than 1. The other thing is it repeats itself. So if this is y, this thing is also y. So that's also y. So we can write that as y equals 1 plus 1 over y. Now that doesn't look nearly as intimidating as the original expression. So we can write this by clearing the denominator as y squared equals y plus 1, or that gives you y squared minus y minus 1 equals 0. So if you remember the quadratic formula, a is equal to 1, b is equal to minus 1, and c is equal to minus 1. So the roots to this quadratic are always, its expression is always minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. It's another lecture, or you can look at us up on the Khan Academy on how to complete the square and get this expression. So this gives you b is minus 1, so that's 1, plus or minus the square root of 1, so 1 is minus 1 squared is 1, minus 4 times 1 times minus 1. So this is minus minus, so this whole thing is 5. And then the whole thing is over 2a. A is 1. So that's 2 times 1. So let me scroll the page here a little. So the two roots are, let's look at the first one. 1 minus the square root of 5 over 2, and 1 plus the square root of 5 over 2. Now we already said y is positive. Now 5 is bigger than 4. So the square root of 5 is definitely bigger than 2. That means that this is 1 minus something bigger than 2, which means it's a negative number. And that can't be, because we said it had to be bigger than 0, or bigger than 1. So the other answer is 1 plus the square root of 5 over 2. So we know this is bigger than 2, so this is on the order of 3 plus something divided by 2. In fact, it's like 1.666 something. And this expression comes up over and over again, and it's called the golden ratio. And that's another lecture to talk about the golden ratio. Anyway, that's all for problem number 1.